Yeah, well, the thing is, we're all still waiting. We're all still waiting for America to be made great again. It's been what, since January? I am so sick and tired of the people sending me messages and commenting on my posts saying, oh, you must be a Democrat. Oh, you never voted for Trump. You know what? I did. I voted for him, guess what? Both times. Both times. But this is the thing. It's been, what, 6 months, okay? Keep saying blame it on Congress. It just seems to me like every time he gets on the stage now, there's a different agenda. There's a different feel to things. He doesn't talk about helping you. He doesn't talk about helping me or anyone that's middle class, low class, poor, okay? He doesn't talk about helping the American people anymore. And I want to know why. We're so distracted with war and all the shit going on that it just feels like we've been forgotten. And I'll say it every day for the rest of my life if I have to, because I 100% believe it's the truth. I can feel it in my bones. We were forgotten about. And I feel like I've been had, so to speak. Like, I believed it, I trusted it, I'm still hopeful, but unfortunately, I've pretty much given up 95% of my hope. I'm still hoping, but like I said, I have so much hope that I stopped watching the news.
What did you expect when you voted for a felon, a criminal, someone who bankrupted 2 casinos? What did you expect? He said he wanted to be a dictator on day one. That's what you're getting. This is what dictator looks like, because dictators don't give a fuck about any of us. But you chose this because you didn't want to vote for the black lady with the weird laugh. You chose to have families ripped apart. Do you know what's happening in my neighborhood while you're whining? People are being kidnapped, disappeared by men in masks. People who are legally here, citizens, children. You expect us to feel sorry for you when we tried to tell you that this was gonna fucking happen and you didn't listen. We all beat the drum as loud as we could that this was going to happen. Mm-hmm. We could have had all of those things. We could have had healthcare, food benefits, peace. Now look. Are you guys going to own this? Are you going to say, yes, this is my fault? Or are you going to whine and cry like you're a victim? You can't, when you vote for the same thing 3 times in a row, it's not a mistake. You didn't want to vote for the black woman. And now here we are. And
I wanted to break down what is in Chill Buttons. It's a funny name. What does it do? Primarily, Chill Buttons is made to...
Here we are. And...
All right, guys. I got something weighing heavy on my heart. I really got to get it out there. I realized I was wrong. I've been on the wrong side of history. I've been supporting the wrong party all along. And I talked with some people over the last few months, and I've decided I'm going to go ahead and become a Democrat because they're the party of truth.
I wouldn't say they're the party of truth.
They stand for the American people.
But they're not the party of devastation.
And I don't know how I can apologize for being so far on the wrong side of history. But I truly regret anything I did to hurt your feelings. And I expect the admonishment. I'll take it. Hopefully you can help me heal through it and grow as a human to be more accepting and more loving of my newfound party allegiance. Hopefully you won't be too hard on me. It's really, really, really taken a lot for me to come out and say this, so...
I want to stop right there. I know that there's a lot of videos saying you voted for this, let the leopards eat their own faces, da 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 da, and all this stuff. I'm not one that thinks like that. I really don't think like that. Am I angry at the MAGA that still support Trump? Yes, I'm angry. But do I want to see other Americans, no matter what they vote for, because I believe in the right to vote in who you feel is better for the country, in your opinion. I believe in the ideals of that. I believe in the Constitution. I believe 100% in the Constitution, even though the Constitution is being utterly disrespected and shredded right now. I believe in those rights of the Constitution. But at some point, when you see people bragging or are giddy and happy about seeing people being harmed by our own government, having soldiers set on our cities by our own military, I'm heartbroken. And I'm not going to sit there and say that it's okay to be violent against people like this man here. I'm not. I don't. But at some point, there is something called self-preservation, and it is in the Bible. There was a scripture that said if a man comes in, not just a man, but that's what the spoken word is, and they come in the dead of night or da 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 da, and God is telling you, if you put them to death, you are not wrong before God, because that person had no place to come in and try to harm you. So these Christian Bible thumpers, and I have to find the scripture where it says there's a time to grow crops, to do this, to do that, and there's a time to take your pruning shears and your gardening implements and put them into weapons. And that's right now, we are at that time. If you, I just don't. There is so much to unpack with all this stuff that's happening. It's not even funny. However, personally, myself personally, I don't go with the ideology. If you hurt me emotionally, I get to hurt you. This isn't the time. We can hash all this shit out later, but right now we have a definite threat. We have a definite threat in America.
If you're gonna get into the comments, just please take it up easy on me. I'm feeling very emotional and vulnerable right now, and I could use the support.
No, MAGA, come back to the front. Come back to the front. Y'all was all loud and bold and proud of everything. No. This is exactly what you voted for. Don't sit up here talking about something you were lied to. No, baby, you believe the lie you told yourself. You were trying to rationalize the thoughts of an irrational person, and now you sitting up here acting like you're in confusion. No, baby, this is exactly what you voted for. Now that Mimo and Papa don't have the Medicare coverage they need to take care of dialysis, now you talking about something that's not what you voted for. Now that he took away research funding for cancer treatment and the HIV vaccine, now this ain't what you voted for. Now that you and your kids can't eat no more because he took away SNAP benefits because you're disabled and can't get Medicaid for you and your kids no more. Now that ain't what you voted for. Oh no, baby, you voted for it all. You voted for it all. But because you thought it was going to affect people who look like me and other marginalized communities, you was more than willing to vote for him because you thought it was not going to affect you. I'll say it once, I'll say it twice, I'll say it 3,000 times. Unless you are a millionaire, billionaire, or a dictator, you are a minority as well to that man. Mm-hmm. And now the rest of us got to find out because you decided to F around. I hope that helps. Decided to F around. I hope that helps.
Trump's massive deportation plan is not really about fighting crime. No. That's one of the biggest lies that's ever been told in history. So what is it about? It's about racially re-engineering the United States. That's what it's about. Changing the culture of the United States, changing the racial profile of what the United States looks like. The true goal of Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, Project 2025, and the techno-fascists all revolve around this pseudo-scientific belief that there is a racial superiority among the original people who immigrated to the United States, the first white Anglo-Saxon Protestant settlers, and they believe that these are the true Americans. And once the Latinos and black people and
I gotta interject as well. So initially, and this is why Trump and the writers of Project 2025 want to cancel out education structure, because they don't want you to know the actual true history of America and how it started, because they want to feed you, like they fed us when we were kids, the absolute lies concerning Native American indigenous people and all of that. Europe sent the worst of the worst, well, what they considered the worst of the worst, on these ships, these pilgrimage ships, to come to the Americas, because they honestly didn't think that they were going to get across the ocean. They weren't for sure that you could get across the ocean. Somewhat like a lot of these weirdos that believe in flat earth, they thought that it's possible that it was a flat earth. So they send prisoners to the United States. That's who they first sent to the United States. This is the bloodlines that came from Europe, from to the United States initially. So when Trump says that he's getting rid of all of the lawbreakers and the criminals, well, then he would have to go all the way back to the original people that set foot from Europe on this continent, because they were also criminals. They sent them first. They sent them to the United States first. They sent them to this continent first. And then when they found out that there actually was resources and land and some prosperity, they all started coming in droves. So just want to say that.
other immigrants to this country are either imprisoned in for-profit prisons or deported, and that our laws that demand equality are reversed or perverted. It's an attempt to reposition these white men into the original positions of power that they imagined from the early days of the country.
Have you seen these 3 videos? Let's talk about them.
Morning. Talked to told us ICE agents arrived this morning here right around 6 o'clock in the morning. We don't know how many people were detained. One of the farm workers we spoke said ICE agents were chasing some of their co-workers who run until they were detained.
The farms.
Damn, what is going on here? Trying to make it clear.
Around 1 p.m. today. In the video we captured, it shows officials moving people into this white bus. These people were handcuffed with zip ties. The bus had shades preventing people from seeing who's inside.
Meatpacking industry.
Impacting this construction project, but many others in the region as well. An industry expert telling us that these raids are having more drastic impacts now than in the past.
How does any of that make sense? This is about cruelty, and we are shooting ourselves in the foot. The number went up. It's 3,000 people a day. Elementary school graduations, courthouses, people doing it the legal way. 6 in the morning, at work in the fields, picking. The logic that Americans are going to want to do these jobs. Jobs Like, what's the plan? Who's going to do these jobs? Like, think about it.
There's not going to be any jobs.
This can get even.
So what a lot of people think it's about who's going to do these jobs. No, what it's about is bankrupting the United States. It's about making all these small businesses and larger business go under. It's a power play. You don't understand. It is a power play. It is a control mechanism. It's not about who's going to do it. These jobs aren't going to exist anymore. They're not going to exist. And what they're hoping for, what these white racists are hoping for, is that people are going to turn on each other. They've already set it up to where they want there to be racial division among people in these cities and these towns, and they want them to actually start doing the killing for them, which is going after each other when there is no resources. So you have to understand the play that's happening here. They don't want there to be food to be farmed. They don't want to feed the American people. They want the American people to uprise and kill each other. And it makes their job a little easier.
Crazier really fast.
Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz. The entrance here is a 30-foot tall wall. None of this was here 5 days ago. It's got razor wire on the top. Just unbelievably impressive what the state of Florida has done here. Over my shoulder is the actual facility. As you can see, we'll be entering soon. This is the entry gate for Alligator Alcatraz. Got mosquitoes everywhere. They're like playing. There you go. Look at that.
And he jokes.
You go in, you don't come out. And if you do, the alligators get you. And the mosquitoes. Jeez. All right. Okay, we'll show you inside. Follow along. It's going to be amazing.
Amount of excitement that's coming out of this reporter that's reporting from Alligator Alcatraz right now is truly unsettling. This is a legitimate fucking concentration camp, and nobody can convince me otherwise. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. This is in the middle of literally southern fucking Florida in the summertime. And we have masked men kidnapping people off the streets and putting them in places like this. Truly, truly disturbing, though, the amount of enjoyment coming out of this reporter. We are truly fucked.
Do you want to hear a shocking number? For every 1 million people deported from the United States citizens, 88,000 of them, in fact, lose their jobs. Now, this isn't a new number. It's a number that we've known about since the Obama administration, when a study was commissioned to see how his mass deportations affected the workforce in the United States. And every year since then, they've continued to aggregate the data, and the numbers haven't changed. When you deport 1 million individuals, it doesn't raise wages magically. In fact, U.S. workers lose jobs.
Yes.
88,000 per million. That's a pretty high number. That comes out to about every 11 people we deport, 1 U.S. citizen loses their job. And it's not just in constructions and the trades. It's in restaurants. It's in hospitality. It's in agricultural. It's in every job
And
field
that's
across
the
the
end
United
game,
States.
is to
Because
bankrupt America.
The program manager who's overseeing a housing development is going to lose their jobs when all of a sudden they can't build any more homes. The restaurant owner that might own 5 or 6 restaurants as a group is going to lose all of them when they have no back of the house staff, because the primary people in the back of the house in most kitchens in the United States are undocumented migrants. So if 88,000 workers per 1 million deported doesn't shake you up, maybe 1 per every 11 does. But either way, mass deporting individuals from this country does not help increase wages or make more jobs. The studies are clear. For the last decade and a half, when you deport people, American citizens lose their jobs.
When you see these people saying we no longer want immigrants, it's quite funny to see how this time around they don't want to show the whole world that they made a mistake. They are keep trying to resist because I know for them they know they made a mistake. How come
they don't know they
farmers,
made a mistake?
are the
They still
big
think it's on par. They're
industry,
still saying they
are the
voted for
big
this.
system of which
Hold on. They're still saying they voted for this, and even after children have been found dead after the flooding in Texas, God rest their souls. Even after all that, they're still 100% behind Trump, unfortunately. So a lot of them are not thinking that anything's out of the norm for them. So no.